Fire Punch is a Japanese web manga series written and illustrated by Tatsumi Fujimoto. It was serialized through Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus website from April 2016 to January 2018, with its chapters collected in 8 tankobon volumes. In North America, Viz Media licensed the manga for English release. Fire Punch takes place on an Earth that has become frozen over and barren. The series follows Agni, a young man who is able to regenerate his body. After his village succumbs to inextinguishable flames, he is left constantly on fire, leaving him in anguish and vowing to get revenge, frankly. Oh, that's what Wikipedia says. This discussion, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a bit different from the usual affairs. This is because we've only read 13 chapters, in fact, which is not too much, so it'll be a little shorter, hopefully, but also because this is a test of sorts of the Great Fire Punch. The journey taken on the first 13 chapters of Fire Punch is emblematic of what the series is, and Sunshine, if you're not into it by now, Mia, Bacon, I seriously doubt that what's to come will change your mind. EliteAri's gonna love it. Chat. Everybody calm down.
Oh boy.
That's why, after I introduce the incorrigibles in which I find myself surrounded with today, I'm going to ask them what they think, but I am also going to ask them if they dare continue down this path, holding to the absolute understanding and encouragement that the Great Fire Punch is not everybody's cup of tea. It's okay to drop it.
Okay.
EliteAri, are
nice.
you here?
I am.
Shut
Yes,
up. EliteAri, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Oh, okay. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm EliteAri, OrdinaryAri right now, just Ari. I have read Chainsaw Man. I have read Goodbye
Hold
Ari.
on, everybody. Hold on.
Jesus.
It's time for some funny banter. Don't any of you dare say what you think about Fire Punch yet. So you're just
Okay.
introducing yourself. Go ahead, EliteAri.
I'm Ari. I make YouTube videos. Sometimes I make unscripted stuff with Kyle. Sometimes I do it on my own. Sometimes I do it with Bacon. Sometimes Mia's there too. Chainsaw Man, great. Goodbye Ari, love it. Look Back, amazing. And here we are with Fire Punch.
EliteAri is just so intuitive, you know, because in brackets here, after everybody introduced themselves, I was going to say, who's read other Fujimoto stuff? What stuff have you read? And who's read Fire Punch previously? EliteAri has come into this with 0 Fire Punch knowledge. He's read all those things we just talked about. I, of course, have read Fire Punch before, the great 10 out of 10 on my anime list. You know, we love it. I've talked about it many a times. And, you know, Jockey Bacon, you know, you can tell him your credentials.
Hello, everybody. Now, before I introduce myself entirely, I want to do a bit of audience interaction here. And by audience, I also mean my company guests. So, everybody, give me an I.
I.
Give me an N.
N.
Give me a C.
C.
Give me an E.
E.
Give me an S.
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 Give me a T.
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 What does that spell?
Inside.
Incest.
Yay! See, I've just come off the Meshuggah Tensei train, and I wasn't
my
enough
goodness.
done with enough of this degeneracy. So I thought Fire Punch, perfect up my street, and it gets us introduced to the lovey-dovey couple of a brother and sister, even though it's not really
Of a
part of it.
lifetime, frankly, of a
Yeah.
lifetime.
It's crazy. Well, I was the first one. I'm the biggest Chainsaw Man fan out of everybody here. I read it first. I think that's how we do it, right, Carl? And also, I'm an even bigger fan of Goodbye Ari, but I've not watched Look Back, and I'm looking forward to it releasing worldwide on Amazon Prime, where I can go and watch it with my mates because it's releasing on Amazon Prime before the cinema, and I had to go cancel all the tickets because what's the point of going to the cinema where you can just watch it early at home?
Merely Vinland Saga, why don't you pipe up?
Yeah, so I'm
I
very
didn't hear
thankful.
you chin, by the way.
Exactly, I'm very thankful that I had not introduced myself yet before that chant because I had a reason to sit out.
Genius.
I am merely Vinland Saga. I literally just talk about Vinland Saga, but I sometimes show up here to talk about good things like Die Buster.
True. And shit,
I have
things like Gunbuster.
No.
Okay, things like Gunbuster. I
Yeah.
have read The Great Chainsaw Man. I am one of the few people left on Earth who loves Part 2 of Chainsaw Man and thinks every chapter's good. And
I thought
I
he was
recently...
going to say the few people on Earth that still watch the great chapter reviews on the secondary ENT channel. which is
Also
okay.
true. Also true, probably. And yeah, I watched Look Back very recently. Very good. I have not read Goodbye Ari. It is on my shelf. And I didn't want to read it because I was worried there might be Fire Punch related spoilers or something in it. So I kept away, and I was going to ask about that
There are a
today.
lot of references to Fire Punch in Goodbye Yuri.
Oh, I've
mostly
not got 'em.
visual.
Okay.
There's even some very obviously at the end of this, but okay. Oh, but Jockey Bacon, as he admitted to us beforehand, didn't reread the chapters for this thingy because he
Nope.
got his ass beaten rugby yesterday, so he's gone off a memory that he doesn't even remember.
Oh yeah.
Now, Jockey Bacon, did you say that you dropped the Great Fire Punch, I think around chapter 13?
You know what? I picked it back up again, and then I finished volume 13. Are we talking about what we think about it so far? Overall views?
Volume 13.
No, we're not doing that
chapter
yet.
13.
Wait,
Okay,
so you've
well,
read the whole thing before?
no, sorry. I said chapter 13. I misspoke.
Okay, there
So I
are
finished
12,
volume
well,
2.
no, there's 8 volumes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I bought all 8 volumes. Okay, because I support these mangaka, unlike 2 of these Australian nimwits.
EliteAri supports official things all the time. He's
Yeah,
pathetic.
I read this through the Shonen Jump website where I pay $4 a
Oh,
month to get
based.
access to. Yep.
There you go.
I
Also,
certainly didn't.
is Chainsaw Man Part 2 actually bad, or is it like
No.
are there just
It's
people
trash.
that are
It's great. It's
But hang on. But are the people criticizing it like they're genuine, or are they like the same people that didn't like Attack on Titan's ending?
They're
Yeah.
genuine.
No, it's like back and forth all the time.
Okay. Is it good? Is it good back and forth, or is it infuriating back and forth?
Well, I would say the mainstream opinion. First of all, we don't want to talk about this for too long, but I have to say the mainstream opinion is just like, oh, it's kind of worse, and then sometimes there's like a group of people that are always mad at it, and it's probably just because it's week to week. You know how it be.
People need to get them reactions on Twitter by stirring people up.
It is true. Can
Yeah.
you believe the?
Who would do that?
Yeah, who would do that?
Oh, my
Unbelievable.
What ominous foreshadowing. If you want to understand that great inside joke we were just chuckling at, you better tune into the great Vinland Saga review that'll probably be up before this, frankly. Now, you've only got to read 200 and something chapters to catch up. Now, everybody shut up, because Mia and Bacon were already snickering that they didn't like Fire Punch in the pre-thingy talk. So we're not going to let them go until we set the stage properly here, chat.
I did
Now.
not sense that from Mir at all, but fair enough.
I did, and that's all that matters. First, we are going to now. I've talked about Fire Punch a little bit on stream, actually a lot of it on stream when I was reading it. EliteAri must have forgotten all of that, or he wasn't around back then. I'm pretty sure he was, but EliteAri, do you have any Fire Punch spoilers in mind?
Yeah,
so
I actually wrote them down. There were a few things I knew. One is that I knew that
no one of them.
Agni has a fire ability. I was like, oh, he's like a fire. He's like the Todoroki from My Hero Academia. I knew
He's
that.
just like
yes, absolutely. I knew that.
You know what Agni means?
I know Agni Kai from Avatar. I don't know what it means.
Yeah, same root.
Is it like a fight? I don't know.
It means fire in Sanskrit. There you go.
Oh wow!
Thank
look at
you.
this.
It also
That'd be
sounds like agony.
Oh my god, you're right.
Oh,
Genius.
it's true. Well, Agni
I don't
is the
know
god
if
of
that's
fire.
people say
in-
that all the time. People say that all the time, but this is Japan, remember? So maybe not. Maybe that's just a coincidence. I don't know these things.
Or Fujimoto's a genius.
Sure.
Yeah. And great, amazing taste gamers like me and Mir here, who has played Smite, will know that Agni is the god of fire in Smite. There you go. And Agni Kai means fire fight or something like that. Literally in Sanskrit. There you go. There's
Alright,
a bit
thank
of
you,
knowledge.
Bacon.
The only bit of information you guys will get this entire discussion.
So EliteAri knew all of that going in. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was 3
Crazy.
more things. I knew it was meta or something. Kyle loves his meta stuff, and there was some meta stuff here.
What?
I think. I mean, we'll talk about it when we
Yeah,
get to it.
of
There was
course
2
it
other
Don't lose
things.
your ground, Ari.
All right.
Stick your guns.
I will stand true here. Also, I knew that there was a trans director character because Kyle loves that character. That's all I knew.
Spoilers. Mia doesn't know that yet.
Well, yeah,
I didn't know that.
Wait, we've
No,
read
I
it,
didn't.
right? Oh my goodness, I'm freaking out here.
Yeah,
Um,
she doesn't come out as the
yeah,
trans
as a-
thing. First,
Yeah.
the trans thing is not in this part.
Wait, what? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Not at
Oh
all.
my goodness.
Speed reader Ari once again.
well, I'm-
Unbelievable. I didn't even know that, but then I probably would have. I was like, you could told
That
me, I
doesn't
would
come
have
up
said
until
I
chapter
forgot.
like 40.
Oh, well, we'll get that next
Wait,
time.
what?
That's in our next batch.
This doesn't even make any sense because it's like stated explicitly, isn't it? Am I crazy? Okay, wait.
What,
We'll have
what
to.
do you think is stated?
That
Yeah, at least non-binary.
No.
Wait a minute. So okay, wait. Are we gonna
Should
go
we
through
talk
the
about
plot
this
thing?
later?
Yeah, we'll save it till we get on through the plot. Then I can
Yeah.
bring up my points. But I was like pretty confident. All right. Anyway, and then the last thing
Because you had
is
previous knowledge.
yeah, maybe I thought it was already covered. So and the last thing is that I knew that there was like incest or something. So yep, crazy. That's everything.
Oh
I
my
knew.
god, you forgot about the rape dogs, and I bring that up all the time, Alita. You're a moron.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that is.
I always say when Makima's dogs show up, they look like just like the rape dogs from the beginning of Fire Punch. You're crazy. Now, okay, well that's all what EliteAri knew. I guess
maybe I should have reread
Mia,
this.
you should go through what you knew first, and then I'll get back to my second monologue.
Yeah, I didn't know much. I knew he had fire powers, but obviously that's kind of misguided. And then
True.
yeah, I knew about the trans character, so that wasn't really just spoiled for me just now. But I
It's
probably
spoiled for
wasn't going to
me.
talk about it because it wasn't mentioned in this.
This is ridiculous.
set of
Take that,
chapters.
EliteAri, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, we'll get to it. Jesus.
But yeah, I was just pretty much blind.
Okay, epic. Now, something came up there that I wanted to comment on, but I forgot it. This is the first of this evening when that's happened. This is crazy. EliteAri, what were you saying? It was something you said. Oh, I was just going to brag that, on my great Fujimoto character tier list that you can find on the tierlistmaker.com, Togato, of course, the greatest Fujimoto character of all time. Everybody calm down. We'll talk about him in a second. Okay, everybody. This is how my monologue starts, so I'm just going to go back into it. Pretend I'm doing my great voice from the beginning again, but I can't remember how that starts.
Am I not getting an introduction on what I think about this amazing masterpiece, huh? No, am I getting left out?
We're not talking about what we think yet, Bacon, you idiot.
What, my overall views?
No one's done that yet.
Okay. Okay.
God, my goodness gracious.
Jeez.
I need to hand down the law around here. There's not really that much said online about Fire Punch. I've talked about it a lot. Oh, yeah, that's how we got into this. I talked about it on stream a little bit. But mostly I talk about it with the great Minty Earlobe, everybody's favorite orbiter. We all know who that is. We don't need to explain it to the audience. And me and Minty have the most similar in terms of personality and media likeness, I'd say. So when I first started reading Fire Punch and I got to the part where it suddenly becomes the greatest story of all time, I messaged Minty and I said, Minty, you read this fucking thing right now so we can talk about it because I'm going to go insane if I can't. Because all people say on the internet, nobody's made videos about Fire Punch. In fact, there's a few videos. There are actually a few I hadn't seen. But most people just go like Bacon did in his intro because he's very unoriginal and unfunny. He goes, incest, suffering, the dumb meme face that everybody's seen that nobody brought up that they got spoiled on. And they just say like, oh man, suffering and dark and stuff. It's crazy. Which is lame. Nobody cares about any of this part of Fire Punch. So everybody's stupid. So this is going to be the first good discussion of Fire Punch in the existence of humanity. So of course he liked and appreciated. We're still talking about Minty in my monologue here. But there is a moment where in Fire Punch to me, and this has always been what I've said about it, where it goes from a very, very bad, boring manga into the absolute genius that it is. And even though Minty and I felt like we were so similar and we both do have a great appreciation of Fire Punch in retrospect, he didn't even have the same realization I did to when I thought Fire Punch suddenly became like great. So it'll be very interesting everybody's interactions with this. And so really outside of this, I don't really know what the widespread thought is on Fire Punch. Nobody's really said much about it. I haven't gone through Reddit threads or anything, or chapter by chapter breakdowns, or chapter by chapter breakdowns when it was coming out or anything like that, because it was 2016 or 2018 or whatever. So it's not that fun, that long ago. As far as I've seen, people just think it's wacky and super dark, and like, people do like to say this, oh, you've read Chainsaw Man. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. And then they do the Fire Punch Agni face. So they're all lame and annoying, and I hate them. And then do the Agni meme face. I just said that. Which we are going to see in our Fire Punch journey. So I'm going to go into briefly my experience with Fire Punch here, and then we'll get everybody else in. To understand this, we first must understand EliteAri. What do we have to understand? The appeal of Chainsaw Man, my goodness. So my liking of Chainsaw Man has also always been funny and controversial, Me and EliteAri nearly ended our duo companionship when I told EliteAri that Chainsaw Man was funny and he refused to admit it was because an anime misled him. And we screamed at each other for 17 hours and then we overcame it. And then we read all of Chainsaw Man. But even outside of EliteAri, people are always getting Chainsaw Man wrong. I'm always yelling at them. I'm yelling at Redditors every week over on my chapter reviews. They don't get Chainsaw Man. They think it's like actually sad and dark. They're pathetic. They're like, man, Denji just suffered a lot. They're stupid. It's obviously very funny. The point about Chainsaw Man is that it's funny. But the other point, the real appeal of Chainsaw Man is that Chainsaw Man is very meta. But it's only meta subtextually. There's always references and stuff. There's always plot subversions that are very specific and they're just bubbling under the surface and I could just see it, but the people, they refused to admit it. They couldn't see what I could see because I'm a genius and stuff. And then I've read all the Fire Punch. This just idea is in my head. The appeal of Chainsaw Man video is already in my head. That's going to come out eventually, I promise. And then I read The Great Fire Punch one day, and I start The Great Fire Punch. And my goodness, is this manga shit, everybody. There's no Fujimoto appeal. I always say Chainsaw Man is great from page 1, chapter 1, where Denji's going through his budget, and he has the great joke about how he sold his left nut for $3.50 or something. And he was like, man, I really got a steal on that one. And you're like, this little fella's hilarious. I love this character. What a great manga. Fire Punch starts and it's boring and they're in the ice and everything's going bad and it's cannibalism and it's the only almost interesting thing is the incest, but even that's not even that interesting. And it's just like suffering porn, and then the guy shows up and sees cannibalism and it's a classic Jockey Bacon misunderstanding, and who gives a fuck about this nonsense? Then chapter 2 is just the little sister nearly getting raped, and then oh my god, he saves her in the end. Great. This is what Jockey Bacon and Mia, these Vinland Saga simps, try to tell you berserkers. Just suffering porn and rape threats, and then saves. And it's like, oh, great. What great catharsis. Well done. Where's the Fujimoto appeal? Where's the funniness? Where's the cleverness? Then Sun shows up, and he's almost there, but he's also generic in a sense. This is the most generic manga you've ever seen. Sun shows up, you know, he's kind of comedic relief. You're like, oh, great, Puck's here. This is great, except he sucks and he's a little boy. Now, he like pees and stuff. That's kind of funny. And there's little moments of little funniness, but he's got like a boring backstory. And it's just like, what am I? Man, this Fujimoto really glue up. You know what I'm trying to say? And this great Chainsaw Man. Fire Punch fucking sucks. Then Judah shows up and she looks like his little sister, and you're like, well, I've seen this before, but maybe they're doing something interesting, boring, and then they decapitate Agni, and she looks like Bulma when she runs up on the bike, EliteAri. I know you said that. Actually, EliteAri hasn't seen original Dragon Ball, so he's a moron. He didn't get the references. That's going to be important later. And then there's suddenly a turn. We're introduced to Behemdorg, or whatever it's called. And, you know, there's a big city, and there's cool, like, double-page spreads, and you're like, okay, maybe this is interesting. But then you get the great scene with the rape dogs. And it's like almost good. You're watching it and you're like, oh my god, this manga has potential. And by watching it, I mean reading it. And you're going through and you're like, man, is this guy, like, he's going to be evil, right? But then he almost seems like maybe he's an all right guy. And then there's like funny things with Ninito, whatever her name is. And she's like funny and stuff, but then she breaks down and stuff, and you're trying to figure out what's actually happening in the scene, and there's like layers to it, and you're like, oh, maybe this is genius, maybe it's not, I still can't tell. Maybe this was Chainsaw Man bleeding through, and this is just a one-off fluke. And then the scene ends, and he's actually the worst guy of all time. He wants them to have sex with dogs, that's crazy, but he doesn't want to kill them. What's up with that? What a cute character quirk. And you're like, maybe this is good. And then you cut back outside in the next chapter, and Doma shows up again. And, you know, he's talking to the great Agni, and, you know, this is supposed to happen at the end of the manga. This is crazy. But it's happening here now. What a great subversion. But he's sitting there, and then he's like a wimpy dude, and he wants forgiveness. But he doesn't want, but he's not a cool dude that's like, oh, just kill me, kill me. He doesn't want to die, so it's a little bit different than what you would do if you had the revenge character meet him in. So it's like subversion on the subversion, so it's just the greatest thing of all time. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you get to end of volume 1, and a YouTube video starts up. Boom! She presses the button, and there she is. Togata monologuing, talking about movies, talking about becoming a director, and you're like, oh my god, all the meta shit that has maybe been there from like the beginning. You're starting to realize, hold on, is this fucking manga genius? What's happening here? This is the greatest scene of all time. And then the next chapter, this isn't an anime, she kills the dude and she says, the rape is just for catharsis, you dumb fuck. Characters like you only exist to get killed off. And oh my god, I realized that that shitty Fire Punch was shitty for 6 chapters on purpose. So it could do all the funny jokes later, making fun of those first shitty chapters. And Togata's here, and she's the greatest character of all time. She's making a million references, 1,000,000 times a second. She kicked the baby. We love South Park. We love Spider-Man. We love X-Men. We love everything else. She references Zorro, but not the one from One Piece. She references the Human Torch. That's not an X-Men. That's a Fantastic Four character. She's going on. She's constantly saying, this is going to be my hero. You're going to be the cameraman. They say, hurry up and rape her. It's going to be great for my film. It's hilarious. Everything she says is genius. She gets super mad that everybody's got regenerative abilities and it's boring and quaint and and it sucks. Oh, and it's the greatest manga, and we're only just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Fire Punch fakes you out. It makes you think it's terrible for like 5 chapters. And then it becomes the greatest thing of all time. And what a conceit. What a genius conceit. Oh, okay. Now, everybody, I know you're sick and tired of me. You know this is a community thing here. There's like 4 people here.
Yeah,
So
I got
I'm going to
invited
speak
this. I thought I
minimally.
was going to chat some, but I mean, Carl,
Yes,
you
yes.
just want to end the
Shut
video
up,
there.
Bacon. I just made that joke, you idiot. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Now, so I'm going to be quiet as much as possible for the rest of the video because I don't have that many plot notes. I don't have that many notes at all. In fact, I have one other plot note. One other note at all for the rest of this thing. And we kind of just recap the plot because I'm a genius and stuff, and I figure this all out beforehand. So we're going to let people say what they thought about Fire Punch. I don't know if we should start with Jockey Bacon because he hates it and none of this is convincing to him. I don't know if we should start with EliteAri. We don't know if we should start with Mia, but you know, I've got to set the precipice before Jockey Bacon, so we all think he's an idiot when he starts speaking. But in fact, we ended with Mia's introduction, so I think we'll start with what Mia thinks. Hold on. The last thing I want to say is I want to guess what everybody thinks. Bacon still hates it. Mia could go either way. Now, I thought Mia was shit-talking it when I first joined the call, but then Bacon said maybe not. So maybe Mia likes it. And EliteAri is the most interesting one, because I could see him going, you know, this was okay, in his little EliteAri voice, you know how he does. Or he could like it, because he's smart sometimes. Or he could just be like, I'm just waiting to see. It was okay. I think that's what I said the first time. But anyway, Mia, you're going first.
All right, let me set the scene. So, the process of me reading Fire Punch, I message these boys here and I say, hey, I think I might be too busy to read these measly 13 chapters because I was on my way to New York to meet the
Oh my
great
god, I know where this is going.
Makoto Yukimura, and I was doing a book signing and I had to wait in a Barnes & Noble for like 2 hours. So I am browsing and I see The Great Fire Punch on the shelves, and I think, you know what? I can get it done now. Just get it out of the way. So I pick up volume 1, I sit there, and I read it. And I think, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go put this book back. And then I pick up The Great Volume 2 of Fire Punch, and then I read the rest of it. And then I got the book signing. And then I left. I sat in a cafe and I was thinking, man, I really wish I could read more Fire Punch because that was really fucking good.
Kill yourself, Jockey Bacon, kill yourself.
I absolutely loved it.
Wow.
And it didn't even take soy jacking at Spider-Man for me to feel that way. Because I actually liked it from like the start. I genuinely enjoyed it.
He left as a funny joke. I see.
Don't worry.
I thought it was good.
No,
I thought it was really good. Tagada is the best character, that's true, but I thought it was just genuinely good from the start. I don't think it was intentionally being bad. I think that's stupid.
Oh my god.
See, this is interesting because I assume that is what most people think. But I really don't know. Because I don't want to bring up Minty every 3 seconds.
Well, I think a lot of stories, you know, they kind of start off a little, you know, lighter, simpler, and then, you know, the hook. So I get where you're coming from with that. I don't think it was intentionally saying, look how bad I can write, and now this character is going to say how bad that was, and now we're going to be good. I think it's just a natural story progression to me.
I think in some sense, because it is literally like, chapter 2 is like, literally like, he's going to rape her, we saved her. And then we're literally making fun of that like 7 chapters later. Now in my head, I've thought about this a lot where I'm like, maybe like he was just going to write, because there's also like all the generic shonen stuff in chapter 1 that really never comes up again, where it's like there's a bad guy, the eye switch, well, she's going to come up again, and there's like this power system, blessings, and it's like, oh, you can have different abilities and stuff, but it's like very much not doing that, but it's like kind of, I think, trying to make you think it's doing that to then twist you out later. But part of me is like, was he going to write a generic shonen, and then 5 chapters in, this Fujimoto was like, I hate Shonen Jump, I hate this fucking shit, I'm going to just go crazy. But obviously I have no evidence for that or anything like that. But it sounds cooler if he like wrote terribly for 5 chapters. That's like a great conceit. I love that. And I believe Fujimoto would do it. And Mia, you know, you might be smart on most of the things you said, but you're wrong. It sucked at the beginning.
Was this his first published work or no?
Well, he did a bunch of one-shots before this, but it's his first serialized work. Is that what serialized mean when there's more than one chapter? I think so. Right. I'm a genius. But yeah, it is. Gotcha. There's also, because I did read his Wikipedia page preparing for this, because I was procrastinating reading the chapters. There was a cute quote where at the end, now I said I wasn't going to speak. Oh my goodness, I'm speaking again. Shut up, Jockey Bacon. You're the only one that equals me in yapping. You can't speak. EliteAri should have made that joke. There's a point in this thing where it talks about influences, and you would expect all like the great things from the fucking Chainsaw Man OP or whatever, and how Fujimoto loves movies. That was a meme that we say all the time. But it's all like him talking about Korean movies and how his favorite Korean movie is called like The Chase or something, and it's cool because they catch the dude that they're chasing in like the first 30 minutes, and then the rest of the movie you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Which is kind of very emblematic in Fire Punch. Oh, also, because we're talking about things now and I'll forget later, one of the Goodbye Yuri references, now this is pretty contextless, so Mia doesn't have to worry, but they're obviously playing in the ocean at the end with, like, Judah's head, and Togata's got it, and Agni's chasing him around, like, give back my little sister's head and stuff. That's very much like the Goodbye Yuri panel on the beach. That's the only one that's the big one that I remembered that EliteAri was like, what, at before, and there it is.
He also uses the 4-panel setup as well, which he does for Goodbye Yuri.
Oh, and the great paneling where he's doing the train thing and it's going increasingly across. That was fucking genius. God, I wish we had paneling like that in Chainsaw Man Part 2. Can you believe this fucking trash? Fujimoto fell off. But, we're going to save Jockey Bacon for last. EliteAri, choose a side here.
So I guess I'm against both of you. No, let me think. I think Fire Punch, the first chapter, I think is like absolutely fantastic. I think it is really, really good. It's undeniably the best of all the chapters that are in these first 13 chapters.
Oh my! Mia, stop talking to this idiot.
Well, yeah.
I really liked chapter 1. I really did.
Yeah, I think it's a nice
double spread. That was good.
Absolutely. It sets up the world amazingly. I think personally,
what did I expect?
I am, and I think the premise of this is absolutely the highlight of this series so far. I love the idea of a world frozen over by the powers of an ice switch. I think that's amazing. I love the fact that like there's flames. Yep, there are these flames that don't go out until the fuel is used up. I love it so much. Basically, the first chapter was great. Now,
this is what Miller's gonna read into this. Like, yeah, the fuel metaphor is really cool.
It was really cool. I loved it so much. What else? After that, it was also, it was really, I'd say generally after that it was good. I just wasn't as good as the first chapter. I'm very much looking forward to continuing reading. Like, so much that like I kept every now and then, the last few days since I finished, I've been like, I know I should be doing something right now that I'm looking forward to, but what is it? And then I remember it's Fire Punch. Oh, I wish I could continue reading Fire Punch. So I'm very much looking forward to continue reading. What else is there?
Oh my god, neither one of them are dropping it, like I said in the intro. Hold on, just before we do it, I should probably say this at the beginning. Obviously, for this first portion, we're reading chapters 1 through 13. The next portion, fuck, I don't have the thing, but I picked a particular spot. We're going to read till about chapter 53, 46. I think.
Oh, okay.
53, something like that. Yeah, Bacon probably knows better than me because it's probably in a screenshot, which is a bulk of the manga. This is like, really in Fire Punch, there aren't many breaks. Like, it's not like it's segmented very well for like read-throughs. So I basically set up this one so we would have enough time to meet Togata, because I thought obviously everybody's going to hate it at the beginning. So at least we'll get to Togata, so people will love it. And we can win Mia and EliteAri over. Jockey Bacon, he's lost cause. What can we say? He's the antagonist of our series here. He's our Doma. He's a Doma.
Ice Queen.
No, you don't want to be that. Now, so yes, we'll be reading a lot of it, and then we'll do it in 3 parts, and the rest will be till the end. We got 82 chapters, I believe, of this goddamn manga. I think whichever one it is, I don't know if Bacon's at double check now to say that it is definitely 53. If you've read Fire Punch, it makes the most sense, I think. It's probably the thing you're thinking of. Well, it's probably a little after the thing you're thinking of. Because basically I didn't want to end on parts where there's lots of speculation about where the plot's going to go.
56.
Because I feel like 56? Okay, there we go. 53 is probably when the thing happens. 56 is like a little afterwards to give it a little breathing room. Basically, I don't want the end of these to be like plot speculations. Now, I think we will do it just for the joke, but like if we get too invested in where the plot's going to go, I can just see disappointment happening. So I wanted to avoid that. I put a lot of thought into this. I'm a genius and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's going to be our thingy if you want to follow along. I think Miller might be trying to follow along. I can guarantee he's going to have something to say about fuel, like I just said. But EliteAri, were you finished, or did I just jump in?
I have one more thing to say, which is that I am pretty confident that Fire Punch has already peaked, and I can't imagine it. Like, I think it's only going to fall off from here, but I will see. No, that's not even what I mean. I think, like, I don't think that the direction the story is going to go from here is obviously very open-ended, so I'm curious, but it's strange. I can't imagine this being as good as, like, it has been so far, so I guess we'll see. I'm predicting a fall-off, but I guess we'll continue on and see.
And since you agree with all my opinions on Fire Punch EliteAri, I can safely say that the best is yet to come.
All right, exciting.
Okay, everybody. Now
It's
we
gonna be
gotta.
fire.
It's gonna be fire. We've just gotta, frankly, we just gotta let him speak now.
Yes, I'm here. I'm ready, folks. So let me say, when I read Chainsaw Man, I didn't laugh once. I
Nice.
can't remember a
Love
joke
that.
I
Kill
even
yourself,
liked.
Doug.
Let me just put it
Kill
out that
yourself.
way, right? There's a reason why I
You
haven't
wouldn't
read
even
the final...
think Die Buster was funny. You're an idiot.
How many? There's 99 chapters in part 1, right? The Chainsaw Man.
97.
97, I believe.
97. Well, I've
Chapter
read
Leader, yeah,
96. Let's put it that way.
True,
So I read all the way up
didn't
to
read the
date, and I
last
didn't
one,
read the
okay.
last one. So let me say.
What was the funny one?
Yeah,
It was.
Oh, that was the one funny Chainsaw Man chapter. Drat. Oh, I should do it again.
Cannibalism. It was pretty good.
And then what can I say? I think Fujimoto's better at writing one shots than he is at writing full series.
Oh my god, this shitty look
But-
back thing people like
but
and fucking
one
goodbye.
day,
Give me
one
one.
day, I saw a man called Kyle Entertainment pogging off on
Oh, that's
Twitter,
me.
right? And I thought to myself, this Kyle Entertainment guy, he has good taste. I can trust him.
When
So
have
I
you
bought
ever thought that?
This is early
Wow.
on.
Name one thing we both like besides
Attack on
Villain Saga, which I
Titan.
shit on. Oh, Attack on Titan, the greatest of all
There we
time.
go, banger, right? Got him right
He
there.
hates Attack on Titan.
Mushoku
blind.
Tensei, you love Mushoku Tensei?
No, I won't say that.
Anyway, so I was thinking, you know what? It's only 8 volumes. I'll buy every single volume. And so I bought a big box set, okay? And arrived at my
That
house.
cost him money, chat. This is bad.
I know
feel
it.
guilty.
Yeah, I bought the box set. It arrived at my house, and it was in Italian, because they only serve box sets in Italian, right? So I had to send it all the way back, okay, right? So I buy each individual one, and I'm here reading, and I read the first volume in like one sitting because it's so good. Oh, it's so cool. He's got like a firepower, but he like regenerates. What a smart
True.
combination. It's so simple, but yet so awesome. I'm ready, and then I'm like, and then I read like 2 chapters of the next volume, and I'm checked out. I'm just like, yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
like
God.
confused. This is not where I was going on. I feel like the Star Wars fans when the sequel series come out and they ruin my beloved Luke Skywalker, Agni Kai,
Bacon,
whatever his
pause for a
face.
second. Pause for a second.
Yeah.
You've made 2 jokes that are like insanely dramatically ironic. If you haven't read the rest of this fucking thing,
Okay.
or are you a little
amazing.
sleeper agent?
I won't tell.
The audience is doing like dot points here, and they're like, "Oh my god, he doesn't know," and we're all laughing. And you've said 2 things that are so extremely particular that it's like insane right now. I just wanted to point that out. We're laughing with the audience, and by we I
Okay.
mean me. Continue.
Well, I'm laughing as well. So.
Hopefully you remember what you just said, and then we'll
Yeah.
revisit this in our next discussion.
But you know what? Hey, I'm not a hater. I just kind of got bored, and so Kyle brought this up, and I was saying, Kyle, do you remember who I voted for in that poll, in this amazing poll
Fire
that we
Punch?
had? I voted Fire Punch. Okay,
You just
because I
didn't
need
wanna
to
do
get my
Apex.
money back. I need to get my money back, man. This is why I'm here. I'm spending more time because you've been seeing my shelf doing nothing. Because you know what? I believe in Fire Punch. I believe.
Wow.
I have hope. I'm on the hopium. I hope.
Is Agni your
I
god,
don't.
Jockey Bacon?
Well, what can I say? Like the first book, it was all like kind of like it was like Black Swordsman. I was like, oh, we've got our Puck, which is
True.
his son, and we've
I already
got
said
our
that.
very
I can
grumpy
just
guy.
say wavelength.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, I can see why Kai would like all this stuff.
But I hate that.
I know exactly. That's the confusing part.
I'm a mystery.
So now I'm like, this is hopeless. Maybe I should actually just sell. Mid, do you want the rest of my volumes? I can send them over to you. Anyway, I'm here. I'm ready to rumble. But unlike Ari, I'm on the hopium and not on the doomerism.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon we are still
recently,
peaking.
By the way, yeah. Anybody else noticed?
Yeah.
Everything's fallen off for this idiot.
Can I also? I need to get this out of my system. Just one complaint, which you guys won't agree with. I don't like Fujimoto's character designs because I can't tell the black-haired girl from the other black-haired girl from the other black-haired girl. But apart from that, I like his style.
There's only 2 of them.
It's crazy.
And
Dude,
one of
I got
them's
so
got a camera.
confused. I got very confused. I was like, "Hang on, who's
Maybe
who?
you should have read
What's
it
what?"
then, because
I know.
Oh,
Oh, gee.
one of them's got a mole. It's not as bad as Chainsaw Man in the middle there, because there is a little bit of but it's all boys, I think, in that one, where there's a million black-haired boys, and you're like, who are these fucking idiots?
that's true.
But there's no third black-haired girl. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that's how forgettable they were. Like I assumed there was another one that wasn't there. I couldn't
But
tell.
there's not.
So
I'm trying to
what
think.
can I say?
There's no object permanence between 2 scenes.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
Exactly.
big phrase. Object permanence.
Yeah,
Direct,
that's too many syllables for Kyle. You may want to take that one.
It is.
Anyway,
I'm a measly
what can I say?
convict. What am I supposed to know?
I am. I'm hoping. I don't really know. Does anybody else have? Someone else take over from here. Otherwise, I'm gonna yap.
Oh my goodness! Don't worry, we got plenty to say. Now we do have to sort of have a little.
Kyle, not
thingy
you.
because-
One of the other two. Okay.
I'm just
One of the
setting it
other
up,
ones
Jockey
with black
Bacon,
haired profile
'cause-
pictures, and I can't tell the difference between these characters
Oh wow.
either. Is it Nisquadjija or actually Ari's probably. I'm trying to remember what's actually on. Not because it's not your Discord.
Bacon, you
profile
designed
picture.
mine, so you're insulting yourself, frankly.
No, exactly. I'm not talking about you.
All right, let me take over, Bacon. I have to say, I have actual point on this art style thing. I have to say that this did not, to me, appear at all like Fujimoto's style. If I didn't know that this was Fujimoto, I don't think I would have recognized it.
What?
Yeah, I think it looks
What?
very different. I think this is like a completely different style he had. I guess you're saying it's earlier. This is like one of his
Ari,
first
do you have
stuff.
eyes?
I do, and I couldn't notice it. You know, I'm the biggest fan of Fujimoto's art style. I think it's fantastic. I love the way Asa Mitaka with black hair, which is my profile picture right now in Discord. I think she looks
Oh my
amazing.
God, here we go.
So yeah, it was a bit different.
progressed,
Simp.
maybe.
Yeah,
I think
I would
it
say-
might look
surprised at
worse
that.
at the beginning, but I
It-
don't
it
think
felt
it looks
like just-
like him.
It just felt like early Fujimoto. Like I don't know. It felt like it's definitely the same style, just a little less refined. That's how I felt about it, at least. I opened the
So-
first volume. I was like, I love Fujimoto art, and then I
Yeah,
didn't
it looks
think
like
about that
I was
again.
drawing when I was like 5 years old. Yeah, classic. Fujimoto.
Oh, whoa! Then why aren't you a mangaka? Whoa!
Way. Yeah,
Why
no, it's
do
like
you-
a classic
why do you
sketchy
like to
style,
draw?
man. It's like you know, if it's not super
like that.
refined, but that's like the Fujimoto goodness. You know, it's like
Yeah.
oh man, it's like it makes it look simple, but it's actually really good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was
Well,
the most
Leroy,
wild
you
take
just
this
got
whole
to throw
entire
it,
thing.
and I didn't even have to do it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anybody else got another hot take?
I think Agni's boring. I don't really care about Agni at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think
you're
the,
right.
I think the
Volume
only
2
good thing
ruined it.
about him, the coolest thing about him, is the way the power works. I think the fact that it's not even his fire and it's literally just
Yeah.
eventually regenerates constantly.
Very cool.
That rocks. That's metal. I fucking love it. But I think as a character, he has not done literally anything yet to make me care. I think
Would
Sun
you
is
say
funny
that it's
though.
like funny that they're making him the hero, even though he's not a hero and stuff, and maybe he's just not interesting enough to be a hero and stuff like that. And maybe
I think more the latter. I don't think it's like he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything heroic. He kind of he doesn't like to admit it. He's
doing the guts thing. He's like,
very
oh, I
guts
wasn't
thing,
helping you,
exactly.
little punk."
Exactly. Like when they're getting he's with Sun and he's like, you're not gonna be traveling with me anymore, and then they get hit by like the big blizzard thing, or was it like
And then he screams.
and he's like,
"Son,
no. I was like, he truly does care. And that was a low point for sure of the chapters. But
Fair.
I think he's I literally just have no strong opinion on him because I feel like maybe Fujimoto hasn't shown his hand yet with him. But I think the ability is cool.
Well, if only somebody knew the answers to all these great questions. But anyway, the only other note I have is kind of another Guts reference, but I said it's like actually not a power fantasy. It's crazy because every time you're like, man, Agni might be cool, bro. He's got like fire and stuff, and he'll just punch you and he'll win. And he's pretty cool. He's muscular and big, and that's what we love. Remember Guts from Berserk? And everybody pretends that because everybody says that Guts is just a power fantasy. He sucks. This is me right now. And then dumb Berserk fan number 3 is going to come out from the side with his cool Donovan shirt. He's going to go, actually, who would want to be Guts? He's not even a power fantasy. But truly, the vast majority of the time, Guts is obviously a power fantasy. He's just winning. He's got like 2 moments where he's losing. Well, he loses every fight only to win him. But, that's pretty power fantasy, But anyway, in this one, every time they're like, man, if Agni stops thinking about killing that piece of shit Doma, what's his name? Dogma? No, it's Doma. He
balls.
fucking starts curling over and he's burning to death. And he's like, man, I got to think about something or I'm literally in constant suffering and pain. So, it actually wouldn't be cool to be Agni, and Agni suffered. Crazy. They finally made one. There's finally a power fantasy that's not actually a power fantasy. When the bloke over there that likes it is going to tell you it's not a power fantasy to show you that you're in to defend his series. Now, isn't that crazy?
Crazy. I was thinking about this as well, about the Guts reference, but I actually was also thinking about...
Oh, wait until we get to later. Never mind. I didn't
I
say
was thinking also about the One Punch Man and Genos relationship, because one of my favorite scenes was the son when he's getting sucked dry from electricity or whatever, and everybody else is like, "Just kill yourself, man. It's not worth it." And he's like, "No, my God, Agni, he's the fire guy. He'll save us." And
Remember
then he makes
how this
everybody's life
hasn't
better.
happened yet, Jockey Bacon?
It hasn't not happened yet.
No.
I
Have I
had
read
no idea what
past
you were
it?
talking about.
That hasn't happened yet.
What? So I read Volume 3? Crazy.
Well,
Maybe
you're not supposed to read all of Volume 2, Jockey Bacon. It's only chapter 13.
He didn't read. He didn't read.
Maybe.
I know, but he's in his mind. He's like, oh, I read up to Volume 2 originally, and, that's where we read up to, right, guys? Nope.
Oh.
Luckily,
well,
that happens in, like, the next chapter, but...
maybe,
I mean, I feel like at the same time, that was kind of set up already. I figured that's where we're going. That was...
Yeah, they keep referencing slaves and stuff.
Maybe I revealed. Maybe it's just a way for me to keep you guys in check, because I have actually read the whole manga, and I'm lying to you, and I forgot, and I seeded that. Who knows? We'll have
You
to
wouldn't
find
be
out.
so reckless.
Well, let me just say, I opened up Volume 2. I was like, it said chapters. It said chapters, and it said chapters 9 to 13, but then on the other side it's 14 to 18.
Yes.
So it's only half the volume. Oopsies.
Oh my god, the volume chapter things are so cool. How they're like on the side and like little. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear much agreement with that, so you're all.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What does that mean?
Well, if you go to the volume pages of EliteAri, which you probably don't have because you're reading on a piece of shit Shonen Jump nonsense fucking website, but if you go to the greatmangacy.com where they have the whole volume rips, because, pretty cool, it has explicit content on the top, and it's got these super cool oil coloring painting covers that Fujimoto did, because if you know, he graduated from college in oil painting. I read that on his Wikipedia today. And you scroll down, everyone has a title page where it says Fire Punch, story and art by Tatsumi Fujimoto. It's got all the chapters on the side. You know how you'd usually have a table of contents, but they've got it in a cool fashion where they're on the sides of the page, and they have little things, and they have it's just really cool, EliteAri. But you wouldn't know anything about that because you pay for this. Embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Was Bacon saying something? He was spoiling shit, and then we interrupted him, right?
Yeah. Well, what can I say, Ari? This is why I was hopium about Fire Punch getting better.
All right.
It hasn't peaked yet. You haven't seen Sun's amazing scene.
I was looking forward to Bacon being the antagonist, but I guess we have to wait till Ava. This is crazy. Now,
I can be more antagonistic, but I don't remember it. I'll be honest. So this is the issue. It, Bacon. Yeah, maybe I should have read it.
EliteAri, you love Agni or something? I'm pretty sure you said at the beginning. So do you want to fight with Mia?
I'm just trying to think. I don't know. I don't even know if the character's any of the appeal of this. I think the motivation of him is very evocative and convincing. The motivation of his sister dying and her like corpse, her charred corpse, like fist bumping him and being like, "Live!" I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel it so deep in my heart. Agni, you can do it.
True.
So that appealed to me. But yeah, I kind of agree in that he hasn't really. I don't know. He's just a guy with powers. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, obviously Togatsu's got all the personality, right? Mia, tell him.
True. No, it's facts. It's facts. I could definitely see that Agni is intentionally being set up as bland. I think Fujimoto, he does not often make a bland character. I can't think of a single bland character from him. I feel like every character's got some kind of insane quirk.
Or there's 3 jokes then. I was going to say Isometica to get EliteAri mad, and then I was going to say Reese to get everybody else mad, because they're all fucking more on Reese simps. But I didn't think of a third one, so...
That's the bomb girl, right?
That's the dumb Bond girl, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't believe they're making a movie about her.
They are.
That's true. But anyway, Togata's the best. We love Nini To, or whatever her name is, too. I don't know why we're... remember when she tries to...
Yes,
that's the other
girl.
black-haired girl.
Okay. Yeah.
EliteAri.
Yeah, no, that scene where with the dog guy and she's like crying and stuff, and then she does like the signal. I thought that was so good. That felt very.
It was so good, but Sun
very
forgot it,
Chainsaw Man,
repeating it to himself, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, signal," and then he fucking claps him in the ears with some electricity. But that was a big mistake because he revealed electricity, and that means you're gonna get zapped of your electricity in the basement, like Jockey Bacon spoiled next chapter. That's crazy. But then they chopped his legs off. That was crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell? This evil rape guy who wants to rape Nini To, but don't worry, Togata got him, guys. Don't worry.
Yep.
I don't know what to think of. Oh yeah, I guess we want to talk about Togata first. That's clearly where we're going. I think Togata's awesome. I think the introduction with all the meta stuff is awesome. I wasn't soy jacking at the references, but I thought they were funny.
I don't really care about the references either. It is the It's all like
Right.
superhero stuff so far, but you know, we'll get to better references later.
But all the stuff with her and the fight on the train and the camera girl recording everything, I thought all of that was really good. That made the second volume very
It's
fun
so
to
good.
read. So I don't know
It's so
why
fucking good.
Mr. Bacon was getting all tired over that one. When do you remember falling off? What was the last scene you remember thinking was actually good? That was before chapter
Yeah, he's
13.
gonna
So
spoil
before
something
the
else here.
beach
What are you
scene,
doing?
pretty much.
Well, you know, I actually thought it was really good when Togata said penis. That was pretty good.
True.
Yeah, that was pretty great. What else? Well, hey, it's like it was a small decline. I guess it like I got invested. I got invested in a product that it was like this is not the way we're going. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of emotion. I've got to redirect, and I wasn't on board quite yet. But I was warming up to it by the end of volume 2. I can't remember exactly what the good part, but I thought when Doma turned up, I was like, "Oh my word, it's crazy!" And then he's like lame, and I'm like, "That's very cool." As Carl
True.
said
He's a
before.
little soy boy with a beard.
was like-
Lame. He used to be cool
That
and
was
clean
good.
shaven and in a helicopter and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a hot
But-
take, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
Oh, no,
ahead.
you want to go first, Kyle?
No. I was going to bring up EliteAri's stupid thing, but we can leave that for next.
I think this is a better start. Yeah, Kyle, actually, you're gonna hate me. I think this is a better start than Chainsaw Man. I think I'm more
Oh,
invested.
by chapter to chapter, we're already better than Chainsaw Man. Who are we fucking kidding here?
I thought you said Chainsaw Man's so good from chapter 1. It's the best.
From page 1, it's the best, but by chapter
And
10,
then it falls off. That's crazy.
Fire Punches slapped it sevenfold.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, I felt like it had a like not even just considering all 13 that we read. Like the first handful, I thought it was a better intro. I think I prefer Denji as a protagonist, but other than that, I think the world is more intriguing. I think most of the characters I'm already more interested in, and the mystery is really good. Yeah, I think I personally, it took me a little bit longer to get really into Chainsaw Man in the way Fire Punch kind of grabs me a bit more. But I guess that isn't a hot take because apparently Chainsaw Man's bad.
No, Chainsaw Man's way better at the beginning. Fire Punch sucks for 4 chapters on purpose. It's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Chainsaw Man's world might be better, but you know that's just me. You know?
Really?
We got the great characters here, and that's all that matters. And by great
I think-
characters, I mean 1.
Maybe I'm like a little bit exhausted with these manga and anime that are in like it's our world, but there's this stuff going on that we kind of don't know about.
True.
There's
This
devils.
one's in the future. Can you believe that? My goodness.
True, but very like unrecognizably our world.
Cold.
You know, that's what I have kind of latched onto a unique setting for because I feel like everything Fujimoto I've seen so far is very much like kind of modern day, you know, day-to-day life.
Japan,
Yeah.
The oh my god. Oh yeah, I didn't start Fire Punch for the longest time because I knew it was like a snow story, and I hate snowy environments in video games and in stories, and I was like, I'm not reading snow shit. So you know, I had
It is a
different
crazy
opinion. Even though I've
opinion,
never seen
'cause-
snow in my whole life, and I want to see it so bad, but you know, white is annoying, and I don't like it.
So are you just racist?
Yes. Remember what we were speaking about beforehand, Jockey Bacon?
Yeah.
Horseshoe and stuff.
Well, what I would say, Carl, is that your favorite part of your favorite video game, Last of Us Part 1. That has snow in it.
No, I don't even like winter the most.
Crazy.
And the winter part of the next game is obviously better.
Yeah, so true.
Let's get a golf club and kill him, brother. Anyway, we love Abby here. Now, while we're still on the topic of Togata, we got to get to EliteAri's spoilers, how he thinks her transness is already out in the open. Go ahead, EliteAri, explain yourself.
All
And
right.
there's one scene where a soldier shows up and says, "What's with this dude?" And then another guy says, "It's a girl." Is that what you're talking about?
No, maybe I'm just okay. Are we? What is the definition of trans? Maybe I don't
You can just
understand
clock
what that
them
means.
early, EliteAri. Go ahead.
No, maybe I
You're a
misunderstood.
trans
So
fuck.
okay, maybe I have a wrong definition of trans here. Okay, I think I do, because my and also I'm definitely being like I'm reading into what Kyla's told me. So going into this, I was like, oh, it's Togata, the trans character, you know.
Oh
So I
my.
was like everything I was reading, I was like, oh, okay, I know this already, you know. But my understanding was that everyone is referring to Togata as a girl, or like he, her, whatever. And I'm like, okay, makes sense, you know. And then she talks about rubbing one out or something, and I was like, oh, okay, she has a penis, right? And then I was like, okay, so like male anatomy, and then female pronouns, and I was like, that's trans, right? But I guess it's not. I don't know my definitions.
Well, you could rub one out if you're a girl. I'm pretty sure that's
Huh?
more a girl thing, right? You don't say rub one out if you're a
rub
guy.
one
You say
out
that if you're
is-
a girl.
I've only ever heard rub one out in the context of a man.
You
Or
can
maybe
probably
okay.
say it on both.
Well, you say okay. I see your confusion. You're assuming that.
Oh, that's
Okay, I guess I knew a little bit more about this than you did, because my understanding is that Tagato is a trans man.
Oh, okay, I
that is
got
so.
no idea.
Other
That.
way
Okay,
around.
okay, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, your early perception of everything Mr. Kyle Entertainment has spoiled on it has warped your perception of Tagato.
No,
That
it
is
is-
why
Hell
we're
it-
here.
on this, Kyle. This is crazy.
It is kind of important. I think the characters keep calling her she for the whole thing, even though she wants to be a
That's
boy. But she sort of
interesting,
says,
okay. Well, let's not
it's
get into
another
that.
like
Let's not get into
Cordelia
that.
situation where it's like we're kind of doing the trans thing, but it's not really the Western sensibility of the trans thing where the pronouns are important and stuff like that. It's I'm pretty sure she also has a moment where she's like,
Let's wait. Let's wait.
well,
Let's wait.
okay,
Let's not get into
okay,
it.
okay.
We gotta have something to talk
Got it.
about in the next videos.
Yeah, true.
So
Well,
EliteAri,
I was completely wrong in every regard. Pretty crazy.
True.
Except I'm
It's
absolutely
just a
right.
moment
Rubbing one
where-
out is only a man thing. I'm telling you guys. Look it up. Ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you. I'm sure. Anyway, continue.
Oh, ChatGPT, very
Yep,
notoriously.
Okay, I will back up Ari here. I have also heard it in the context often for men as well.
Thank you.
So
thank
I
you.
wouldn't have assumed it's just yeah.
I think it's also because usually you're not getting girls who are saying like, "I'm gonna go jerk off and go to sleep," and that's kind of just
Yeah. Didn't we have a talk in one of our recent things, Ari, about whether or not you could say jerking off as a girl?
I don't
swear
remember
we
that.
had this conversation.
Maybe like 6 months
I
ago.
swear we had it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had it with anybody else, EliteAri,
No,
so
that
it
is
must have been
true,
you.
yeah.
So, no, this was like last week or something, or the week before, so this is funny. But also, fuck, Mia said something at the beginning that I wanted to comment on. But what did Mia say? How will we ever know? Mia, repeat yourself. Say exactly what you said in the exact same tone.
what about
It was something about
Mo-
master. Oh, I remember. Because she does say, in her introduction YouTube video, she's like, girls shouldn't say masturbate. And then that's like one of her first jokes. So that is true. And Mia just brought up that usually girls don't say that, but she says that after she tries to kill herself and she blows her own head up. But then she's like, my body just came back and I can't watch movies, so I'm going to kill myself. And that's when she says masturbate originally, because she's like, some people need to masturbate or sleep or eat, but I need movies and I don't got them. But now I'm going to make a movie because I saw this bloke, and that's crazy. And isn't he just so interesting? So that's our masturbation topic. Anybody else got anything else to say?
Yeah, I mean, if I was reading this completely
Epic.
blind on this aspect, I would have just assumed Tagata is very, very tomboyish, and I would have thought that was kind of the point of the way Tagata talks about stuff like that. Just like, oh, girls aren't supposed to talk that way. Very much like, actually, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone here reads One Piece.
I know everything about One Piece, you know. Are you going to talk about Yamato?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know that much. So,
So okay,
go ahead, Bacon.
I'm doing a bit of research. Here's an interesting
Uh-oh.
thing.
We don't
Volume
like
2
that.
sold less than Volume 3 and Volume 4,
Oh, you vindicated now.
which is interesting. 'cause
Oh my God.
I thought it was interesting because
It's got the
what Carl was saying.
too.
Well, what it says is that Carl was saying that like I would expect it if it did this big old twist and like Fujimoto like really like skewed his
I already
audience or
said this
whatever.
is probably
That there
not
was
most people's interaction with Fire Punch Sharky Bacon. What are you showing?
yeah, but like if it's taking such a twist, like I would have thought there'd be more of a fall off after the first volume. Basically, that's what I'm expecting. But it's actually peaked again, which is. And it seems to have a pretty regular downturn with volumes over time, which makes sense. But the fact that Volume 3 and Volume 4 went up, that's pretty crazy. So,
I
I
don't
still
know.
think
Maybe
Volume
some
1 is most
crazy
sold of
shit
all
is
time.
going to start happening,
Mm.
and we just got to see it. Also, there's another Togata. She's on the cover of Volume 5. This is crazy. So she's got time to prove her sales capabilities. Mm-hmm.
I had something
Alright.
to say and I forgot.
Imagine
lost
that
it.
happening. What a loser.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. It had something to do with what Mr. Bacon was saying. Whatever. I'll think about it.
We'll round back to it. So I guess, do we have a more Togata discussion, or should we end our great Togata portion? I don't know.
I just remembered it.
She's a little crazy, She's not always morally good, even though she
Very
does
true.
save Nini To in the end. She was saying, hurry up and rape her at the beginning, and I did laugh. It was very funny, but in a very dark way, We felt bad for Nini To. We just want to save her, She was funny initially when she's like, we're going to be baby making machines, and then she does the little hand motion where they're going to do this. and then we're gonna have to get milked, and she's pointing her nipples, and then she does the whole thing. It's very funny. It's like a little 4-panel thing at the bottom of one of those pages in the dog chapter. Well, there's actually 2 dog chapters. It goes over 2 chapters. That was hilarious. So of course we love her, and she's a great cameraman. Now she's in her signature outfit here, where she's got the body armor that she stole from these guys. Man, these soldiers, they're just the most evil guys ever. They're like, man.
Yeah,
one of them even in chapter 3 when they're like looking at Sun, it's like, man, we might even get girl slaves after this that we can rape all the time. And then other one's like, I want mine to be a 9-year-old boy, and you're like, wow, crazy. You're pretty evil, huh? And then there's one that makes them drink the piss. They're just very evil. Obviously, it's a funny joke because catharsis and stuff, and it's intentionally bad.
What kind of is weird to me, Judah, obviously the whole is Judah Luna thing is a big part of the mystery going here, but I don't get the sense that Judah is necessarily bad. Like, I mean, these guys are literally just like, yeah, I think rape is totally normal and actually like good. And
that one
Judah,
guy before the train cutaway scene where we don't see the fight because it's repetitive, but it also looks like the coolest fight of all time, greatest joke in the history of manga. He's like, before that, he's like, just on the evil point and tying into this gender thing, he's like, well, baby making is sacred no matter how it's done, which is basically just rape is good. And then he's like, but obviously women are sacred too, but men are always better and they're never at fault. And obviously everybody knows that women have less human rights than men. It's like, that's pretty funny. And then he gets killed.
Yeah. Okay. With Doma, right? The whole because Vinland Saga kind of warps my perception of every revenge story I'm ever going to consume, I think, from now on. So I'm immediately when the chapter 1 starts with, it is all about him wanting revenge and the burning, and it's clearly not healthy, blah blah blah.
It's so cringe and bad. True.
It makes me think, okay, is he gonna play it straight, or is he gonna be like, revenge is bad? And it seems like it's going towards that. And then you get Doma, and then that seems like it's going even more into that because he's like, God, I if I did that, I'm so sorry. How could you forgive me? And then the way this section of the story ends, where he's thinking, oh well, Luna might be alive, and then Tagada's like, well, if she's alive, then you wouldn't have a reason to get revenge anymore, right? And he's like, I need revenge.
Like
and then he's locked back in. No, it was good. It was good. But I was thinking that, okay, maybe this is going the direction of, the revenge is misguided, but then these soldier guys are just really, really terrible. They're just genuinely awful people. And I don't know if we're gonna explore that a bit more, if they're just gonna be like cartoonishly awful the rest of the way. But
love killing.
Yeah, I'm trying to place Judah in that context of how awful this organization seems to be, and I don't really see her fitting it.
Yeah, there's two bits of like specific characterization. They're like this, like in the first chapter, they show up and Doma's like, we're not here to get slaves, stop being mean to the people that much. We're gonna take their rations, but he's like nice, and then he's like, don't swear in front of people. They swear a lot in this manga, which is epic. We love that. Much more than shitty Chainsaw Man. And then there's another one where Judah shows up and she like helps Sun initially, and she's like trying to encourage that little rapist they're grooming over there, the little soldier who's new, and they're like, he's very worried because his brother, he died to Fire Punch Man. And obviously we're like, we're gonna kill this dumb fucking kid. He's a rapist in training. Let's get him. But she's like, pats him on the head and says, the king, which is important. They bring up the king a lot and God and stuff. And like, the king, he said, he spoke to me just now and he said, as long as you do your duty, you'll be okay today. He's dead. That dumb little kid, Togata got him. So it is like maybe they're not all evil. And again, they do that little subversion with the dog guy where it's like, well, clearly this dude's going to be evil. And then you're like, well, maybe we're doing a little Fujimotoism here. And it's going to be like, maybe we're doing the thing where the city isn't evil. It actually is good. But everything to prop it up is evil. And, we're going to explore that and stuff. But then no, he likes raping animals and humans and stuff. That's crazy. So it is on a teetering little edge here. But I will say with the meta stuff, and because again, with the revenge thing you're talking about, it's always like sort of guessing where Fujimoto was going to go with this. Is Isa being set up just to be the main villain of part 2, or is she just the love interest, or is this going to intersect and it's going to be both? And then which one's going to die? Sometimes we even speculate that Denji's going to die because Fujimoto probably does have the balls to kill off the Chainsaw Man and the Chainsaw Man and keep the name and just have it be a funny Isa story going forward, because that would be hilarious. And it's like we're constantly speculating, where the fuck is this idiot going? He's crazy, he could do anything. And it is similar, especially when you have that baggage coming into this, where you're like, well, usually you find the dude at the end of the revenge story and he's like weepy and pathetic. And even if the character does kill him, he doesn't feel too good afterwards. You're like, so how are we doing this revenge story? Is the revenge simply bad, or are we making fun of revenge's bad stories like that shitty Vinland Saga? Or are we going to... But then there's another thing where I think part of a different appeal of Chainsaw Man or Fujimoto's work in general is like, he will often make fun of the thing and then do the very thing because the thing works. And that's obviously the case with like the rape stuff, setting it up with chapter 2 and then making fun of it later. That seems more direct. But even then, in Chainsaw Man, he'll constantly be like, he clearly teases like, well, this plot point would be really stupid, but then he does it and it's really cool and funny. And it's just like, oh, like it's not really, and this is a big part of the video that I'm never making, where it's like, it's never cynical. Whenever he's referencing something or making fun of something, it never feels like he's like, this is a stupid technique, and I am currently beating the fuck out of people that like it. And you will now pop this up and say, Naruto fans, how about you read something real like Chainsaw Man? And like the part that it's like it being called Chainsaw Man and that being like so stupid, but so clever and so cute is like part of that. Because you can't really say, this is the cleverest piece of media of all time, Chainsaw Man, and like say it seriously. People are going to be like, that's stupid. Obviously, it's not like the great William Shakespeare. It's called Chainsaw Man. That's dumb. And it's the same thing with like Fire Punch. Like, oh, he punches and he's on fire, and that's stupid. But still, it's like cool and stuff. So it's sort of making fun of itself, but still doing it because it's like a celebration of the things that are stupid. I always think back to the one example.
No, that's genius. That's so genius. Celebration of things that are stupid. That is
it's scripted in that video already. You know, it's never coming out though. Don't steal my ideas, audience, or I'll kill you. Just like Fire Punch would. But the chief example of this, who makes videos?
How about you make some videos?
Come on. You know, I made like 4 videos this year, more than last year. You know, I'm improving.
Am I still on your
Patreoning?
Yeah, am I still Patreoning you?
I'm still getting that Jockey Bacon money every month. It's great. You're one of my 3 continued patrons. We lost.
I don't think Ari's actually. I think once I start donating to people, they just stop making videos. I think that's kind of how it works.
It's true. EliteAri fell off big time. You got a job. Let me finish. I got one little bit of this point left where my chief example, where I always think of when in the Resoc, Denji's starting to shoot out his like chainsaws, and it's very clearly like, oh my god, he's going to start doing the Spider-Man thing around the city. But then he doesn't do the Spider-Man thing. Instead, he uses it a chain to ride Beam, and he's doing the Sharknado thing instead. It's like, oh, you thought we were doing like the superhero reference here, but we're actually doing the schlocky, even like less high art thingy of the Sharknado movie references, and the chapter's even called like Sharknado or whatever. It's like, what a genius! He's a genius. And I always thought, I thought I was going crazy noticing all these things in Chainsaw Man and being like, well, obviously that was he's playing with your expectations on such a meta level that you can't even comprehend how much of a genius this moron is. But then in Fire Punch, it's like so much more blatant in every regard, and I was like, oh my god, this is validation. I'm a genius. I saw it when I got it without even knowing the answer. It's crazy. Everybody else that's read Fire Punch already just knew the answer beforehand. But that's actually just a joke. I don't like it just because it validates me. Everybody calm down. But I think I do like it because there's like a type of thought which would be like, oh, well, obviously Chainsaw Man is better because it's more subtle about it. And, you have to sort of see it beneath the surface that it's doing these all like little mini subversions and references and like, oh, this is how this story usually goes. But haha, we swerved in this direction. And in Chainsaw Man, I think you can very much still enjoy it without like seeing any of that because it's a much more palatable like experience. Whereas I think Fire Punch is very much only for like rabid media lunatics like us. But we love us, and a celebration of us is better than a celebration of them. I think that's what Vinland Saga's message is, right? Tribalism.
Yeah.
All right, somebody else speak. Jesus Christ. I'm just monologuing. EliteAri, was that genius or what?
No, I think you're completely wrong about this only being less palatable than Chainsaw Man or whatever. I think they're very similar in their palatability. I don't think that anything that's like particularly...
You're a crazy person. There's a rape of a little girl in chapter 1 and they're talking about incest, EliteAri.
I don't think... I mean...
Chainsaw Man's intro is also pretty... it's not rape, but
Yeah,
That's pretty
Mia
brutal.
feels bad for Denji.
the
He's a
dumpster.
Redditor.
Okay, yeah, that's
My
one thing to get out of the way. I actually do take Chainsaw Man seriously.
Yep, same.
Unfortunately, I can appreciate the jokes, but I do think one, Fujimoto takes it more seriously than Fire Punch, and then I also take it more seriously. I get that sense. I feel like he's trying something a bit more serious with Chainsaw Man, despite the fact that it is still funny.
I don't think it's serious. I think, if anything, Fire Punch is much more like, I don't know. I guess I'm conflating serious
I feel
and
like
dark.
it's dark. Yeah, I would think that because I think that it's dark and there's a lot of dark humor too with Fire
Yes,
Punch. I
there's-
mean, and Chainsaw Man certainly dark humor as
Yeah.
well. But that's kind of just Fujimoto's style, I guess. Except the Great Look Back, which has just made me cry the whole time because it's brilliant and good.
Yeah, Look Back sucks, you know.
But we're not criers here.
No.
I would never cry, right, EliteAri? Remember when I made that vow to you?
Yeah, true.
EliteAri, you hate subversions and stuff and meta and stuff, so why don't you tell me?
No, I love subversions. I think they're amazing. One thing I don't like is when Kyle specifically, you know, he's trying to read the intentions of the author and is basing his like levels of irony and subversion and what the author knows based on absolutely nothing. And he does that sometimes in Chainsaw Man, and I think he's doing it a bit here, but that's okay.
Well, you know, I was just proven right by the Great Fire Punch.
I get what you're saying with the whole thing about there being a twist with Tagada and stuff, and reading into the intent of it was supposed to be bad. I felt like when Tagada was introduced, I didn't feel like that was a twist. I felt like that's just kind of, maybe I'm just used to Chainsaw Man, but like with Fujimoto, I could just be like, you know, anything could happen. I guess maybe if I was reading this without having read Chainsaw Man before, knowing nothing about the way Fujimoto writes a story, that would have felt like a bigger twist. Like, whoa, it's getting super meta now and stuff. But to me, it just felt like, oh yeah, Fujimoto.
Yeah, I just thought it was a twist because I thought the first chapter sucked, so I was like, oh, he was bad back then. It's okay, he got good with Chainsaw Man. I guess I'll continue with this. But then it was good all of a sudden. I was like, oh my god, this is just like Chainsaw Man. And I will say I'm shitting on Chainsaw Man to prop up Fire Punch a lot because it's really funny and cool and stuff, and it makes me edgy. And EliteAri doesn't like it, and I know he doesn't like it. So but I remember finishing Fire Punch and I was like, man, which one's better? And I had a big the thingy now. I think I like Fire Punch better now, but I don't know how much of that is literally me souring on part 2, and I don't know how much I'm actually soured on part 2, and how much of it is a joke. And I also don't know. I have to reread part 2 when it's all out, rather than week to week to even make any of these judgments. So right now, I would say Fire Punch, 10 out of 10. Chainsaw Man, 10 out of 10, but lesser than. Just to clear that up.
So Ari, where do you think we're going? We're the only ones who can actually speak on this.
Should we do? Hold on, before we do this, we should save that for the end. It might very well be that we're at the end because we don't have that much to talk about. Does anybody else have anything else to talk about? Okay, we should do that before we do predictions. So
well, Jesus. Okay, let me go through all these then. Let's see. So everyone has to go to chapter 1, page 12. Okay, you don't have to technically do this, but basically they were. It was like this one panel, and there was a candle. Okay, and it was lit. It's like this tiny little candle on the left side of page 12. And I was utterly stumped, guys, because I thought this was like a superhero with a flaming head, and he was saying brother, and I was like, what is this? And I thought it was like where Agni has a brother or something, and where he's seen the future or something. And I stuck on this page for like 5 minutes. Yeah. I wrote a note and I was like, what is this superhero? Is this going to come back? And then I went back and I understood. I saw in the background, the next panel, there's a candle. And I was like, oh, it's a candle. Anyway, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
The candle's also 2 pages previous. They set it up so you would remember it later.
Well, I certainly didn't. Anyway, that's my first miscellaneous note. Okay. I already said this, but the Luna panel where she's burnt up and she's saying live is fantastic. Oh my goodness, what a cool panel.
Soy.
I said that already. The saddest thing that happens. Oh, this is so sad. And Kyle's gonna think it's funny, but
kill yourself.
When Sun is like offering the sugar to Agni, and then he gets blown away, and I was
it blew away. That was hilarious.
That was so sad because he was talking about how like, oh, you can only lick it on the specialist of days, and I was like, oh, this is like something important to him, and it's like getting blown away in the wind, and yeah, so. Yeah, I'm just so emotional reading this manga. You've got what else? The subversion. I already talked about the dog guy or whatever. Great. I liked that. Okay. It was great. I liked it. I also loved Doma being a regretful older man. I thought it was fantastic. What else? The best gag in this whole manga was the Ivan, who's the girl, which everyone is saying. It's like, it just gets brought up by every character. I thought it was really funny.
She's mine.
Yep, pretty much.
That's
every
what he
time.
says in response.
And now my last few notes here are basically Togata stuff. I said Just Rape Her is really great. That's really funny. I like it. The anticlimax subversion
That's
of
what I
the family. Oh yeah, the family of regenerators just being defeated so easily. I think that's a really fun anticlimax.
Mhm.
Well, they weren't family, right?
Well, they see themselves as
You're
family, right?
confusing.
Oh, they
No,
don't.
well, yeah, he was his star pupil,
They
but
don't
the
see anything
guy,
there.
the one regenerator guy, does have a brother, but his name was Jack, I think. He was not the guy that Togata fought off screen. He's still in Berlumdorg or whatever, I think.
Wait, when they're on the train, wasn't the girl and the guy a brother and sister, right?
The
Like
girl.
the girl who looks like Agnes' sister, right? Judah or whatever, yeah. And then
No, she's not.
and then the other regenerator guy who's young, right?
Well, there's another regenerator guy, which is the big guy, so we can separate him.
But
I don't think
Simon.
they're brother and sister.
I wrote a
Simon,
note
yeah,
down.
that's the guy.
They're not brother and
shooting off screen.
sister?
No, I don't think so.
Why on earth did I think they're brother and sister? I guess because they look similar.
He does call the big guy his star pupil, but that's I think Judah is like above him.
Judah's the oldest,
and they both talk
right?
about being old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Judah talks about being older, I think.
Well,
Oh yeah, that guy's like, I'm 80 or 90, and she's like, I'm 130. Which means they probably can't be brother and sister, EliteAri, if you know how women.
Why not?
Which apparently you didn't.
What if them? Wait,
because you can't. If you have a kid when you're, let's say you're 13, and then 40 years later you can't have another kid, EliteAri. You're 53. Well, I guess we're way in the future.
What are you talking? We're the
maybe they've got
regenerators.
away,
This person's a regenerator. Maybe their parents were. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, you know, that could be a possibility.
Yeah,
but they're not.
You'll see. It's gonna get revealed. They're actually siblings, and Kyle's trying to hide it
She's
right
Luna,
now.
you stupid dumb fuck. Obviously,
she is absolutely not Luna. They just look similar, which is a thing that happens even in real life. Okay, so I like how it's mimicking real life. It's fantastic. So finally,
and also Luna's not 130 years old. That's okay.
Well, not that we know of, right?
But Agni still believes that it could have been one, and she just lost her memories. And she's
how old is Agni supposed to be at this time?
He was 15, and then 8 years passed, so that's 23. He's the same age as me. This is crazy.
Oh my!
You're all old, by the way. Kill yourselves.
That's crazy.
Sorry, continue.
Let's see. Playing. Oh, this is the twist. All right, playing on the twist that it's not the sister, with Togata being the one to point out how poignant it is great. So we love it. You know, we're meant to think it's like poignant, but we're also not meant to. And Togata's the one pointing it out. We love it. But I think you guys said that already.
Genius.
Now, finally, I said, this is really interesting. Blessings were around for a very long time, hundreds of years before the world froze over. Or Togata is lying about being 300 years old. So I guess we'll see which is which. But pretty crazy.
She's way older than even Judah. So she's the coolest one and obviously the strongest one.
Yep.
Power scaling, you know.
And that's all my miscellaneous notes. And yep.
Now that's crazy. What a great bunch of topics. Jarky Bacon, you've been awfully quiet. You got something stewing over there?
Nope.
Okay. So do we want to do predictions, or does anybody have anything else to say? Let me think.
I guess I have miscellaneous things in my brain.
Okay, go ahead.
You go ahead first.
I was just gonna make a kick the baby reference again. Remember when she kicked Luna's head out of the fucking the door, and she said "kick the baby"? EliteAri, that's from South Park. It's really funny.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who kicked Luna's head?
So now we're talking about Judah.
Judah.
Okay. Very funny.
And then Togata decapitated that dumb bitch, beat her real easy. She's nothing. She's trash. And then she punt kicked her out of the side of the train because remember the train got blown off in that fight we did.
Sick panel. Yeah.
God, I hate action, and I was laughing. Oh, it was so cool.
I think blessings are kind of boring. I don't really care for the power system that much.
Intentionally, it feels very stupid, obviously.
It feels like basic. Okay, well, I think Agni kind of saves it with the combination of the fire and the regeneration. That's like the one interesting use of the system so far. I'm curious to see where it goes. I mean, oh, never mind, it's just regeneration. I was gonna say is Togata even less because the ridiculous strength, does that just come from the regeneration?
A million years of training.
Ah, yes.
And by a million, I mean 300.
Yeah,
those other ones had artificial skeletons.
Oh, right. Yes. Never mind. Yes, the endoskeleton.
But I don't think Togata does. Though I don't remember.
Like she was collecting them, though. She was like taking them for some reason. I don't know. I don't remember if that was.
She said it was cheating, and that was very funny.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. I think the funniest joke in this so far was, of course, from Togata in the introduction chapter, where Togata was thinking about what to name the movie. I for some reason, I don't know why this bit always gets me.
Punch and it's 5 minutes, the greatest joke of all time.
I don't know why that bit. They do that bit anytime that bit is done, no matter how many times it's done. It always gets me. I don't know why it's so funny to me. I think a combination too of Fujimoto's art style, the way he draws Togata's face, very confident in saying like fire.
She's so good.
It's good. It was good. All right, I think that's all I got.
And she's always going like, he's on fire. It's crazy. And he's naked. That's crazy. dick is out. That's key. And she even has the one joke where she's like to Mimeto, don't shoot waist down, because you can't put the dick in the movie, obviously. And we never actually see his fire dick, because, it's a manga and stuff. It's like playing with it. It's genius. It's genius. God damn it. Anyway. Now I'm just scrolling through the last chapters looking for great jokes to come. It's like, oh my god. Oh, and she's freaking out because she asked Agni the backstory, and then Agni just starts monologuing the backstory to Luna, and then she's like freaking out. She's like got her hands together, and she's like blushing, and she's like, oh my god, this is perfect. It's a revenge tale. And he's gonna get her, and then she like realizes there's some holes in the narrative that she tries to plug, and no, you have to keep hating Doma because he's a fucking prick, and he killed your sister, and she's freaking out. It's just the greatest thing ever. All that's left for me now is to direct his catharsis. And also, Togat is like a author insert. It's like genius and stuff. Oh my god, I'm looking at the great Goodbye Yuri panel of them playing on the beach with Luna's decapitated head. This Togata, she's a little sick sometimes, She's doing some crazy things. She's holding up severed heads all the time. She's laughing and stuff. My goodness. Morally ambiguous characters, we love them.
Okay.
Oh my god, and we end with I'll be your hero. That's why we ended it here, because he's decided he's going to be the hero of the now. What a meta moment. Anyway, I think EliteAri, I hope you've written down all your great predictions, because I think we're going there.
Yeah, I have 2 strong predictions, okay? And I know when I say them, Kyle's going to say
warn
something.
Everybody again that this is a bad idea.
Kyle is absolutely going to say something, and it's going to either confirm or deny it. So please, Kyle, try your hardest not to say anything, okay? There's 2 things, okay? One of them, there is almost 100% there is no eye switch, okay? There is absolutely no eye switch. Or there's another thing, which is that the eye switch is like completely irrelevant to like the entire story. We're never going to see them or anything, because I feel like I absolutely would have seen the design for this character somewhere. If there is an eye switch, I just feel like, or like for instance, a female Fujimoto character, I feel like I absolutely would have seen it somewhere, like a meme or like a Chainsaw Man,
that
something.
True.
So I feel like it has to not exist. But we'll see. I guess.
Somebody horny would have been
my
waifu.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, it would show up somewhere. Anyway, that's
we all know the
prediction.
reason why you guys like Chainsaw Man.
EliteAri, I will say one time I did tell you about the eye switch, so that's fine.
Oh wow,
because you at some point you heard the spoiler, but I'm just not going to say nothing else.
Well, I'm glad. Oh, do I say my second prediction, or anyone else want to go in? Or
I think I got the same sense
what do
as
you think about the eye switch?
Yeah, I got the same sense that the eye switch is going to be some kind of subversion. If there is a
the
central
Gun Devil kind of was. Remember that?
Tag, I guess the Gun Devil didn't even end up being really like. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I don't think it'll even be as relevant as the Gun Devil, to be honest. But when I read Chainsaw Man, I was thinking, oh, maybe the Gun Devil is like the kind of central antagonist, and that just kind of wasn't the case. Gun Devil is like an external factor.
Now he is one of Ice's arms. What a weak little piss baby.
What a little bit true. Yeah, I just got the sense that the ice switch is red herring. End game is not go stop the ice switch and stop the snow. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like obviously the introduction of Tagada and all the meta stuff kind of leans towards this too, that there's going to be a significant subversion in what the story is being set up to actually be. And I think the ice switch is a big part of that.
Do you think the ice switch is a Tagata creation?
That is like, why would I even
How
think
long
that?
ago do they say the ice switch froze the earth?
Chapter 1.
It was like 5 years ago.
Agni remembers.
Oh, I see.
Is Tagata the ice switch?
No.
Well, that would satisfy
I guess it gets revealed in chapter 14.
How you would have already seen the character design if it was.
Yeah, that would work.
I think that is honestly the best point to make towards this, because if there was a badass female ice switch in this story, I absolutely would have seen that.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, next one.
Yeah.
So this is my final prediction. And because I was thinking about like this whole Agni, he has a power and stuff, and he doesn't really. I guess he has the regeneration, but he's on fire and stuff, and the fire relies on him kind of having a fuel or like a hate or like a mission or something like that. Okay, but I'm gonna take it as him needing to hate something. Okay, so what I'm thinking is this entire story is gonna end with so basically what it seems like they're gonna do is Tagada is trying to make a movie, right, with Agni as the hero. But maybe by the end, they'll like make this movie and everyone will think it's bad or something. Or like, we'll think he's the villain. Like he'll think that, oh my gosh,
Like
actually,
Yuri?
yeah. wait, I don't know about that, but yeah, Agni's the villain, and then he's gonna hate the audience, and his hate for the audience is what's gonna lead to him like forever being like on fire, and that's gonna solve the ice stuff. Okay, all the ice is gonna go away because he's gonna like be so angry at the audience who just doesn't understand the genius of his movie or whatever, or his role in the movie, and that's all the snow is gonna go away. So there we go.
That's incredible.
Thank you. All right.
I love that so much.
That's all I have to say.
Got any other
I'm just speechless at that.
All right.
Ridiculous in a good way.
Now, hopefully that's not like actually what
yeah.
happens, and somehow I like remember, but I don't think so. I have like a zero knowledge of anything, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, continue on.
Fat chance.
I think because okay, so you're thinking the way it progresses that the fire just never goes out. I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like we're gonna get the opposite. I feel like at some point it's going to stop in a very subversive way. He's just suddenly, maybe not like suddenly you turn the page and like, oh, it's gone. But I feel like the fire going out, and because maybe it is linked to like the hatred thing, right? But then maybe he'd just die if he stopped feeling the hate, not because it's based on the regeneration. But I feel like if there's anything funny that Fujimoto could do, it would be like the most critical time of the movie, the climax of Tagada's movie, and he just like he can't get it up anymore.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I could imagine that.
I think that would be very funny. But I also really like your idea.
I will avoid
I
anything
like your
for saying spoilers.
Bacon, you better shut
No,
your
I like
goddamn
your
mouth. There's a
idea.
lot to
Yeah.
say, brother.
Yeah, no spoilers here.
Bacon has like 3 more chapters of context. He knows it all. Things can change on a dime in the Great Fire Punch. So I guess nobody's dropping Fire Punch like I predicted.
No. I actually have one. I don't know if you have a prediction on this, Ari. It sounded like you kind of did in the way you talked about it, about whether or not Judah is Luna or not.
Absolutely
And
not.
I think, really, I mean, you really think it's just for the gag, right? It's just for the like, oh, no, normally this would be how a story goes, and there would have to be a connection, but nope, it's just funny that Judah looks like Luna, and we're gonna kind of sit on it.
I don't. That's a good question. No, I feel like what I'm imagining is Judah's role is now going to be part of this crew of people making this movie, and I feel like that's where it's going to be interesting that it looks like the sister. Not that it is. I don't know.
That's
exactly
funny.
know. Yeah,
that's a funny idea, but why would
like you know what could be interesting actually? What if in the movie I don't know. Also, I don't know if they're actually making a movie or whatever, but we'll see. But if they are making a movie, it could be interesting to have Judah play the role of Agni's sister, but like a ghost of it or something like that. And it's like,
that's really
and then like the reality gets mixed, and Agni's like, "Is it my sister? Is it not my? What's happening? Oh my gosh!"
No, Judah starts to believe in herself.
Yeah,
she's like, maybe I truly am. Okay, you know what? That would be the best way to do this. Slowly convince Judah over the course of the story that she is in fact Luna.
That would be crazy.
Only for it to not be true. That would be peak.
Yep.
But I think I think it wouldn't have been introduced if there wasn't something that we're going to do with it. I actually kind of like the idea because what Tagada said, well, we'll keep her alive. Are they just gonna like carry her head around like Mimir in God of War? Just have her on a.
I understand the reference. O'Leary doesn't. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
I think that would be very
That's
funny.
A video game, O'Leary.
You may not be familiar with those.
God of War it came out in 2018, so of course God of War would have stolen it from the Great Fire Punch.
True.
But it was probably already in production,
happened.
and there was probably already a trailer out with that in it. But actually, that God of War game was revealed in E3 2016. You would have seen that in my great Last of Us Part 2 video. But and the head wasn't in that trailer. But
then they read Fire Punch. They're like, we have to put this in. We have that.
We've got to
delay the game.
Kratos, he's just Agni, frankly.
True.
He's mad, and then he's not, or is he mad forever? Who knows?
I'm gonna make a bold prediction, real quick. I think Mr. Kyle Entertainment was slipping up, calling Judah Luna during our discussion.
Oh.
He said it was a gag. I don't think it was. I think he was slipping up. So I'm in that camp.
Wrong on all
no. I think Kyle Entertainment, if he did slip up, he'd make a joke of him slipping up. So I feel like it'd be more obvious.
He did.
I did that twice.
I called her Luna because it's
you're all dumb.
You're
so stupid.
Maybe it did slip.
But Elite called me out for doing something I did, but didn't even know I did it twice.
Unbelievable.
Don't listen back to the thing. I'll do it for the next. But anyway, what interesting predictions. One more thing that I thought was maybe prediction bait, and everybody knows where I'm going with this. If you've seen Fire Punch, we're laughing at these morons right now. What do you think the Ice Queen's motivation is? Why would she freeze the world like this?
She clearly doesn't exist.
Yeah.
He hasn't had enough Turkish delight.
That would be crazy.
Okay,
Is that
assuming
a
the
joke?
Ice Queen.
Am I missing the joke here?
No. That's my genuine thoughts.
Turkish Delight's pretty good. I guess that makes sense, Bacon.
Wait, let me think. If there actually is an ice switch, why would they freeze?
I know it's got to be a subversion. It's going to be something really stupid. There's going to be no logic to it.
It's because of global warming. There is no ice switch.
Oh my
We are
god!
all the
Oh
ice
god!
That'd be
No,
crazy.
300 years in the future, they're stealing from another great PlayStation game, Horizon Zero Dawn, where it's just global warming did it.
global warming was so bad that the ice switch was like, "Let me make it colder," and then it just went too far, guys.
Yeah,
I think Bacon is saying the ice switch is global warming, but
Well, I'm
freeze.
building off it.
Yeah,
I see.
There's a
Developing.
great idea here.
It would be kind
I
of
feel
crazy.
like it's something I just can't predict. Yeah.
What if the ice switch is another person who looks exactly like Agnes' sister? That'd be pretty crazy. like I don't know why, but I feel like that's what I'm going with. Okay, if the ice switch exists, it's gonna look exactly like Luna. There we go.
they would be blonde. No way an ice
Why would they
switch
be
is-
blonde?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I guess yeah. I guess
Ice
it
switches
makes
don't have
sense,
dark
yeah.
hair.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What's that? Vice from Ruby?
Weiss, yes.
Has white hair.
That is true.
Is Vice?
Yeah, okay.
Come on here. It's white in German, surely.
Right. Yep, she's a German.
I would
character.
advise everybody to hold their composure in the comment section. Does that mean something, or does that not mean something? Don't be spoiling. EliteAri is going to read them, okay? And I'll probably send all the funny ones and then the thingy if we get any. Some things go to die on my channel, but when we
Most things
uploaded
do.
the shut up, Jockey Bacon, you're an idiot. Vinland Saga, 1,000 views at least today.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
What was I saying?
I can't wait till I can.
Oh,
actually
somebody
talk
when we
about Vinland
uploaded,
Saga.
probably me and Bacon have millions of 1,000 viewed videos. EliteAri, you wouldn't know about that.
And so do me and Bacon.
So to me and you, frankly, so we don't give a fuck about Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei would get more views if I was there. Take that, bitch.
Did he get more views when he was there? I think that there was.
Yeah, that was an
some of the
anime. People love
actually-
the anime.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's 'cause you didn't
true.
put a line
That's
light
why
on
we
the
don't
cover.
need to read the light novel, because the anime, the people love it.
I want to bring up
Anyway.
one more prediction topic.
Ooh.
Or at least I don't really have a
Okay.
prediction on it, but it's more like I want to hear people's thoughts. Sun. So when we get Sun's little backstory that Kyle hated, the
Sure.
brother is like, "Oh, we named you. Your name's Sun because you're going to bring like
Warmth
light back to the world or whatever." So do you think Sun will actually have an important role in? Well, okay, I guess two things. One, do you think the snow will even be like thawed and then the world will, I don't know, be saved by the end of this? And does Sun have any impact on that, or is Sun just a gag and we're also going to be in snow forever? I don't trust a single promise from Fujimoto about where the story is going at all.
Yeah. Wait, is Sun's legs just gone?
There's a guy who has like a healing power who like
Okay.
started
he
healing
healed
them.
them off. He didn't heal them back. He stopped them.
Yeah, they were kind of like stubs the last we saw him.
Oh wow. Okay.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I actually reread the chapters last night just to make sure it was fresh in my head. And I was thinking, like, I when the light switch got chopped off, I was like, wait, Sun doesn't have regeneration, and I don't remember any healing. And then the healing happened next page. So I good thing I read.
So Sun gonna save the world.
I feel like that's what I would that's what I expect if it was anyone but Fujimoto. You know?
Yeah. I feel like Sun's
The sun, the ice witch's biggest enemy.
That is true. I could imagine a situation where Sun is killed off and it's emotionally evocative and I cry. I could imagine that. So maybe they won't get the chance to save the world because they'll die.
I think Sun lasts longer than that. I think so. But I also don't think we're gonna get like storybook. Oh, the sun is what melts the ice and snow. I definitely don't think that. But I feel like there's at least some kind of purpose, and maybe it's just a long-term gag with a payoff. But I don't think it would be like an emotional like, oh, you like Sun so much, and now Sun's dead, and now you're sad.
Mia,
I'm
what is
not leaning towards that.
what is
Yeah,
what is Agni's sister's name?
Luna.
Oh,
I'm gonna kill myself. What the hell? Oh my! What is
I don't even know
happening
what are you
in
talking
here?
about?
Luna and Sun, EliteAri.
Yeah,
It's like
Sun
the
and
moon
Moon,
and
dude.
sun.
Why? I can't believe.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Don't worry, I got that about
What the hell
7
am I
months after the fact. It's okay. I think
So it
Mitzi
didn't
yelled at me one
matter.
time.
It didn't matter, everyone. It doesn't end up mattering.
Well, maybe it does, but I just didn't realize it.
Oh, you're saying that because it's like the gag. That's the gag. Oh, okay. Wait, I took it as
Well,
like,
they're opposites, right?
yeah, but I took it as you're
Oh my
saying
god,
that
Judah isn't. Never mind. That
Wait.
was stupid. Go ahead.
that this. Okay, you're saying that this is gonna be his Sun is absolutely gonna die because Luna died, and that was his first motivation. So Sun is gonna be Agni's second motivation when
If
Sun
he couldn't
dies.
save the moon, at least the great Agni will save the sun.
Or maybe that.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
that's more likely.
Shut
yeah.
up. All right. I'm done. I've had enough.
EliteAri, are you
Well-
you done too?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm excited to read more.
Well, Gino
Jockey
also has a
Bacon, you
meaning as
done?
well, but anyway, we'll see.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it'll take a week. We haven't sorted this out yet, but we'll be back soon enough with a whole bunch more chapters. I probably will have to write some plot notes for that one, you know. So everybody, if you're reading along, you better get to reading. If you're not, and you've already seen it, well, you get to just relax, like Jockey Bacon, and not read anything. And I guess we'll see you back here in some period of time in the future, maybe a week, maybe a bit more. You know, EliteAri, how do we end these things again?
We say thank you guys. Leave your comments. Don't forget to comment. Okay, comment right now. Say something. Comment something.
Retweet
Okay?
the great tweet. Follow Merely Vinland Saga on Twitter and that other one and YouTube. And make sure you check out our great Vinland Saga discussion with the same panel that'll be coming up next. Remember to leave your comments about what you would want to see us do next. Remember, we did a poll recently. It had Evangelion, Fire Punch, Fooly Cooley, and Serial Experiments Lane. Tell us just how much you want to watch Serial Experiments Lane so we can do that one next. Tell us how to improve the show, but make sure you're nice about it or I'll leave you a mean comment. I'm a little chatty back down there. And all those things. Subscribe to Jockey Bacon if you want. You're going to go and watch all of his videos. Leave him on repeat. He needs watch hours to get monetization.
Yes,
Can you believe
please.
that?
Can you watch the podcast? That one's good.
Yes.
Great content.
Maybe Kyle Entertainment should go and watch all those podcasts and help a brother out.
Help
Now,
your brother out.
what you need to not do is subscribe to the OrdinaryAri channel because that piece of shit keeps getting further and further away from me.
I don't
You
even need you
subscribe to
guys
this
anyway.
channel.
I got plenty.
And make sure you don't show up and carry your streams every time like I do. And, you know, when I'm not there, they're like an hour long and nobody says anything, you know. I own you, EliteAri.
You created me, and now I sustain you.
And with that being said, I created everybody here. Jockey Bacon only started making videos after me. And because Mia came from Jockey Bacon, at least in my peripheral knowledge, that means I created everybody here. And with that great ending,
Kyle, I can't believe you said that.
EliteAri, I mean, Jockey Bacon, shut up.
I mean,
EliteAri, shut up.
do you want to go see my earliest video on YouTube?
Ooh.
Yeah, it was about 4 years ago, I think.
Ooh, I don't know
it's
about
Go
that.
search. Go search up. Go search it up.
Envy.
Go search up
something,
my
something.
earliest YouTube video.
Frankly, I don't know what he's talking about. And with that being said, everybody, this is where we say support links in the description below.
Thanks.
End it, EliteAri.